You want to ask a question? Go on.
Can I just on the point about education, that we're just around the corner from your old school,
Yes, Holland Park, yeah.
Which is a significant school.
Yeah, huge influence on me.
Yeah,
it did.
Yeah.
I remember turning up for my first day, standing as a nervous child in the playground. I think, like all children, making the transition to secondary school, and it was very large, 2,000 pupils.
Yeah.
But it had a huge impact on me because it was a genuine comprehensive school that drew from all of the communities around here, and helped in part to make me the person I am.
Yeah.
And one of his sons is now training
to be a primary school teacher.
To the primary school where he went to.
Really?
James,
Did you go to Bousfield?
Pardon?
Did you go to Bousfield?
No.
No. I thought because I went there.
Oh right, no. Yeah, but Holland Park was a a great school, and you remember above all inspirational teachers, your fellow pupils, the things you did.
Yeah. Can I just ask you, two of you again, on the point of the family, is that yes, politics was important, and you were saying, breakfast, lunch and dinner, we all talked about politics, but the other thing is that it's just reading the diaries, it's a deeply affectionate family. You may have been talking passionately about politics, but you're all very... that runs through the diaries.
Well, I mean, he sustained me. The number of times that the media besieged the house and they used to shout at him as he left to school, and we had to train them how to go to school, not to reply to what was said to them.
Yeah.
And every night the journalists were outside ringing the doorbell all night. He went through... I mean, the house was under siege for a long time. My rubbish was collected every morning in a Rover car. Now, I know that Kensington Borough Council is Conservative and very efficient. And one of my sons built a rubbish bell, so when the black sack was lifted, the spring, and the rubbish bell, when we looked out to see who'd
and saw someone putting the rubbish bags in the back of a car.
Wow.
This is long before Benji the Bin Man. This is a long time ago.
Anyway,
but I tell you what, that experience of being under siege certainly brings you closer together. There's no doubt about that. But family is all important. Because when all of the rest has gone, when all of the rest is finished, what remains? What actually sustains you and supports you? And the answer is those you love.
So that's what Jim Callahan said on his 90th birthday at number 10. I went there, and he'd invited Ted Heath to come, and Jack Jones was there, and Jim said to Tony Blair, he said, when all this is gone, what matters is the family. It's exactly what you said. It's very interesting. And the rows, even in the Labour Party, are family rows, you see.
Right,
That's the difference, because Jim Callahan, with whom I had a few minor differences, he wrote to me when my wife was dying and said, I'm thinking of you. And Dennis Healy's, with whom I stood against the deputy, he's such a friend of mine.
Really?
And that is what people don't understand about rows. They're family rows.
Right, yeah, that's really interesting.
Passionate and...
No,
sorry, you were going to say...
No, you were going to ask a question.
No, I was just going to say that when you were under siege, is this 1960s Cabinet Act when you were sort of... or is this more...
It's really, 70s? It's basically the 70s.
It's the 70s.
It's the 70s and the early 80s,
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Right. So can I now sort of move on, just to sort of now turn to Tony and to ask Tony about Hilary. And obviously there's a fair amount about Hilary in the sort of earlier diaries and in the later diaries. And if you can just sort of describe, I mean, that he seemed quite a precocious boy. I mean, sort of making rather intelligent speeches from quite a young age on political matters.
Well, I learned more from my children, I think, than I've taught them.
Right.
Because, see, the thing about politics and family is trust. Trust is the key to the whole thing. And everything Hilary has ever said, I know he believes what he says what he believes, and he's absolutely reliable. And, I was very proud he worked for 25 years for trade union, local chairman of education, deputy leader in Ealing, came to Parliament with far more experience than I had. I mean, I got in at 25, having been an RAF pilot to work for a time with the BBC, but nothing like the experience he had. And so we've had a lot to talk about. And I have enormous regard for him.
We had this just under 2 years. We were in Parliament together.
That's right.
And the dad used to give me a lift home.
I'd go to the whips and say, "Can I take my boy home?" And as I was so old, they always wanted to let me go, so I used to drive him home.
I think they were happy to let you go home because they're afraid you're going to vote against the government, Dad. I should tell you the truth.
I haven't voted against the government since 2001.
That is very, very true. But the deal was, you see, we get in the car and I would have the window open.
Yeah.
I would allow Dad to smoke his pipe.
Yeah.
And he would agree to wear his seatbelt. And this was the negotiated settlement, and we would talk about the events of the day, and Dad would drive me home. So I just mentioned that in passing.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Still, when I go and see him, he won't let me get in the car without putting my seatbelt on. So when I go around the corner, I slip it off again. Oh, I mustn't say it. I broke the law yesterday.
Oh, don't.
Deliberately. And I tell you what.
What did you do?
In Wales, you can't smoke now from the 1st of...
In a public place, no,
And you're
quite right,
I broke the law. I was sitting in a marquee at Hay-on-Wye and I lit my pipe. And I thought, what will I say if I'm charged? But I regard it as a matter of conscience. Because I'm a teetotaler, I'm a vegetarian. If I like my pipe, they send me to Guantanamo Bay. It's a disgrace.
Listen, you're very lucky we're allowing you to smoke down here. This doesn't constitute a public place.
Well, there's a CCTV camera John Reed's put up there. If your video doesn't work, you'll know everything we've said.